Welcome to Joy Hour. Today is a great opportunity to meet a good friend of mine, and we're going to capture it on camera. Al, it's good to have you in the studio.
Man, love being here, bro. Thanks so much.
I feel like I've known you forever.
I know. Fast friends, man. It happens on occasion when there's divine intervention.
Right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, we just met 2 weeks ago because of a mutual friend.
Yeah.
And one guy says to another, hey, you two should meet.
That's right.
And so we were in the coffee shop this morning, and as we were there, I thought, man, I want to capture that part on camera. But
love it, man.
Here we are,
That's great.
And you'll find out why I want to capture these things on camera. Al's got a big heart. He's got quite the story, and all of us have a story. You have a story. And as you watch the Joy Hour show and learn more about the purpose of it, if you've got a story you'd like to share, please reach out to me. It really is, the purpose of this is to share conversations about what we've been through in life, to inspire others to talk about it and to say, hey, this is what I went through. I made it through it by using these tools, and this is what I'm doing with it.
That's
so
right.
What have you been through? How'd you get through it? What do you do now? Why do you do it? And so today we're going to hear a bit of Al's story and Al's heart and what he's involved in, helping others and coaching and speaking and so much that he does throughout the week and throughout the year to inspire others. I feel encouraged, challenged, and inspired even this morning in the first half hour of hearing him talk. I'm taking out my notes and writing things down. So it is an honor to have you in the studio today.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you, man.
Yes,
love
sir.
being here. This is an amazing setup, man. What a blessing, for sure.
It is a blessing.
To have
a
this
good reason to
platform.
move across the country.
Yeah, what a crazy story. Seattle to Texas, man.
Right.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Love it. So far you're doing okay here in Texas. We haven't scared you away just yet, right?
No. The only regret I have is that I didn't move sooner.
Okay. I
Texans
like it.
are very sincere. I'm still shocked every week as I meet more and more people, and the typical response is, welcome to Texas, and here's my phone number. If you need anything, let me know.
That's it, man.
And so it's been beautiful. So my wife and 3 kids and I are about 9 months.
Okay.
And so we can't quite say we've made it through the hottest part of the year yet, but here we are.
That's right.
Thank God for air conditioning.
Getting rooted.
Yes.
But you're getting rooted. That's
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. I love seeing good-looking, tall individuals show up to Texas, man, and bringing families that want to make an impact. So that's awesome, brother.
Amen.
Love it.
Well, speaking of impact, I want to jump in, having you on the show today. A lot of people have heard, my story, and I do value and appreciate how interested you were this morning in asking about my life.
Yeah, man.
That set the tone right away for the depth that you have, the sincerity that you have. Even in those first 10 minutes, just you would ask me questions, and it made me feel special. And I think in this world, a lot of times people are in environments and circles where they don't feel special.
Yeah, man.
And so they just stare at their phone. And I think we need to do better at that. And you just encouraged and inspired me this morning to make sure I'm doing a good job at asking about other people's lives. And so I want to capture just a brief amount of your story and just speak from your heart, tell the audience a little bit about Al.
Yeah, man. Well, I love the theme, the Joy Hour. I think it's really cool. I think joy in general surpasses happiness and feelings. Like joy is being content.
Right.
And I come from a place where a lot of people, not just myself, but a lot of people come from. Raised here in Texas, I got an opportunity to experience lots of sports and in school and things of that nature. But really the story starts back when, my parents got divorced when I was 7, and that's not a story that's unique to me, obviously, but there's these things that start to pop up, like, was I unworthy? Like, what's wrong with me? What's different? And it had nothing to do with me. And I've got great parents, awesome dad, awesome mom, great step parents. But at the time, you don't know what's happening.
Right.
So this feeling of unworthy started to take root in my heart, and it became part of an identity that really I call a fake ID. And so I carried that with me for a while, and I was always acting out of trying to get out of that. How can I be more worthy? And it was usually through sports or, affirmation from people and, trying to be popular. And so all these things that I would do that was just really acting and trying to become what I had no idea I already was. And so Unworthy was the first one in third grade. I didn't tell you this story, but I went, my mom took me and my brother to go watch TCU and Texas play baseball here in Fort Worth. And, you know, I ran to school and said, hey, I think I want to play college baseball. And I was telling my friends, and I was a class clown, always trying to get attention, obviously. So my teacher didn't favor me too much in third grade.
Right.
And I'm not going to mention her name. She knows who she is. But it's amazing how, you know, at that age, how impacted you are by words. And out of the side of her mouth, she said, if you ever make it to college. So at that point, my dad, you know, has 14 brothers and sisters. My mom has 5. No one had gone to college. I have tons of cousins that I meet on occasion every day, you know, on a yearly basis. And no one had gone to school. And I thought college was just for smart people. So she didn't say it, but what I captured was dumb. And so then I'm kind of walking through life trying to figure that out. And so now I'm unworthy and I'm dumb. And then the last big fake ID that I picked up was, you know, working at a prison, you know, wanted to be like my dad a little bit, and worked at a penitentiary. And basically my integrity was terrible. I lied, you know, cover my brothers and sisters that were officers, and got in a situation I couldn't get out of. And it drastically changed my life, because we basically, just like every other time, would get a little heavy-handed with an inmate, get out of control, and then lies started happening, and before you know it, I picked up, you know, the next fake ID, which was convicted felon. I pled guilty to obstruction of justice, which is a stain, it's a scar. Like, I really hadn't been in trouble much, but those fake IDs I picked up along the way, and, you know, unworthy, dumb, and convicted felon are not really cool to be walking around with. But man, God changed my life. I mean, God transformed me dramatically. And before I pled guilty to obstruction of justice, I dropped to my knees and said, God, I'm done. Like, obviously I suck at running my life. It's not going well for me, and you probably have a better plan than I do. And so I'm going to follow you. If I go to prison, if I don't, I'm following you either way. And so once I did that and pled guilty, the most amazing thing happened. I just started going to church. I told you that part of the story. And my daughter was about to be born in 2000. And the assistant U.S. attorney of the Eastern District of Texas was the prosecuting attorney. And I see her, and she sees me, and she's the one that gets to recommend my sentence for pleading guilty. And she recommended probation. Wow. So I started picking up these fake IDs, and then little by little, God started to change me and said, you're worthy because you're a child of God. Right. Not by what you do, but who you are. Yeah. Secondly, the dumb became, I started learning about emotional intelligence, which I coach a lot of people on that now. I started to learn that, man, I can see things. God's given me gifts of discernment and being able to read situations and environments. And so I use that to help people now. So I'm not dumb. I've got emotional intelligence enough to be able to serve people where they're at. Right. And the last one, the convicted felon, you know, it's not going away. It's on my record. So with that one, man, it's changed dramatically now. I was locking people up when I was working in the prison. I was almost locked up during the conviction. And now I unlock people's potential. Wow. So, man, long answer, but throughout this, I've had an amazing wife, and I have 2 beautiful kids. My wife of 27 years, Anna, stuck by me through thick and thin. And my kids, 22 and 25, have been amazing, and they've grown so much with us in our spiritual journey. And it just made me who I am. And now I want to help people, just like you, Tom. We have the same heart, bro. Yeah. And I just think there's so much perspective that we have that we can provide to others to help them get out of their own way. Look to the one who changes everything. And life changes, man. Freedom occurs, and it's a blessed life, and you have the ability to love God and love people.
Man, just thinking about so many people that have stories and they don't share them, and they get log jammed, they get stuck. You know, was there a time in your life that you can think of? Let's talk about that time with the conviction. Where your mind was telling you to try and not remember it or talk about it, and nobody, you didn't want anybody to know, and now you obviously put it right out there. I mean, as soon as we met, you talk about that. How did you work through that?
Yeah, so now, be honest, I don't talk about it with everybody, Tom. Obviously, today I am.
Now, yeah, we're capturing it. Well, it's bold and it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I think what I want the audience to capture is your story could either be, you choose, swept under the rug and trying to hide it from anybody, including yourself, or you can take it out and you can actually use it as one of the main things that you share with others. And that will give the victory, and that really defines purpose.
That's right.
Out of pain comes purpose.
100%.
So whether it's choices we made that brought us into the pain, or it's other people's choices that brought us into a painful moment. Maybe it's a false accusation or conviction. Maybe it's abuse from others that we didn't deserve. Nobody deserves to be abused, of course, but children that were hurt and done wrong. And so whatever you've been through, as you listen to this podcast, just want to capture how important it is to listen to people like Al. You've heard my story, so many others that do this, and it really does define purpose and calling and identity.
I love it. So good, man. And that's exactly it. Like, and we talked about this. Our family verse is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in the future. Either he has a plan for us or he doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'm either like going to believe that or I'm not. And I'm not going to fake him out. Like, God knows what's happening.
Right.
I make choices. I have free will. But ultimately, God is with me throughout all this.
Right.
And I look back and I'm reflecting and I go, man, God, you were everywhere. And so your question to me about, was I ashamed? Was it hard for me? Yeah. Like, I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, I was at the lowest. I'd never had problems with confidence because my confidence came from other things. It never came from the right thing, but it came from other things. And this was like a big blemish. So there was a time when I was like, I could play like I was confident, but I wasn't. And I'm sure it came through because authenticity, travels the fastest, right? The truth just vibrates and it resonates with people. So people saw that. And you just never feel comfortable in your skin when you're not authentic.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I come out and say it all the time. Like, I say it when I feel like God's calling me to, hey, say this, like, share this. Like, I told you the discernment in the word for the year for me is obedience. And I'm not always obedient. Like, listen, I'm a work in progress.
Right.
There are times when I turn it down all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, God, thank you, but I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to hold that one to me. So, but I think it is, man, like, the more I'm getting comfortable with my identity, then it becomes, I'm less focused on what others think.
Right.
And I don't mean that in the wrong way. Like, I'm not like, wow, I know some people say, I don't care what others think. You're lying.
Yeah.
Everybody cares. So don't lie. But I'm not there are going to be people that, because I said I'm a convicted felon, think differently about me. And that's okay. Yeah. Like, I'm completely okay with that. Yeah. When they get to know my heart, then maybe that shifts it. But if not, man, there's people for every type of person. And I might not be everybody's cup of tea, as you and I talked about earlier. You were talking about, hey, maybe I'm over the top sometimes, and some people are going to love me and some people aren't. And just being okay with who you are, because I know whose I am.
That's good.
And he created me this way. So there's going to be people that resonate with. It's not going to be hiding in fear and running from those things and the stories. When you keep them in the dark, they have a lot of power in a negative way. Yeah. But when you bring them to light, they lose their power negatively. And then it brings about a different power, which is, I believe, what God starts to the design he has for us is to share these things so that people can be encouraged in their journey. Yeah. And move forward and know, hey, man, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm further than I was, and I can get through this. Look at what happened to Tom. Look at what happened to Al. And all of a sudden, they just get encouragement and inspired. And then it helps them move forward in their relationships, which I know you got an amazing marriage ministry that's coming, and you got big things coming for that. That's going to change. Like, what y'all are doing is going to change legacies, dude. Yeah. Like, it's going to be amazing. And it's only because you're able to share your story. So you change one life. Who's to say it's not all worth it? Yeah. Because it is. Yeah.
There was a voice that once in a while it still creeps up, but it's pretty much dead now. It took a lot of work. But that voice I used to think was, other people saying things, but a lot of times it wasn't. It was my own mind saying, tone it down, or, hey, tell people about the alcohol, but not about the unfaithfulness, adultery. Don't tell them about the pornography, tell them about the cigarettes. And, people don't want to hear all the details, Tom. And there's lots of voices that would go through my head. And recently, because of people I've been around, mutual friends of ours, coaches, speakers, authors, where they've taken what you would consider the most shameful or embarrassing things of their life, and they've literally impacted thousands and thousands of people, and they've kept a sense of humility, knowing it's not about us in the first place.
Right.
We are just to be God's hands, God's feet, and God's mouthpiece to say, this is what he did in my life, sir, ma'am. I believe that he could do it in yours as well. And so I think the more authentic we always are, the more vocal we are with our stories, that will show us our unique, what I call harvest field.
Oh yeah.
Or
that's great.
Our people.
Yes.
And love everybody.
That's right.
But understand, you're not supposed to be a chameleon that tries to change who you are so that more people like you or don't like you. It's just be yourself. What's your story? I like to say, when people ask what the Joy Hour Show is about, is we share what we've been through, how we got through it. We share a glimpse of what we still go through.
That's right. That's right.
I have depression creep in quite often, anxiety all the time, temptation all the time.
Yes.
But how do I work through that on a daily basis, a minute by minute basis throughout the day? And I've got a plan that has worked for me as far as overcoming those challenges. So there's never perfection. It's progress.
That's right.
But with this, you've gone through and you just captured just a brief glimpse of that. But you talked earlier about identity. And again, if somebody's struggling to be bold with their story, what's the first step that they can start to do to step out on the water and go ahead and talk about some pain they've been through? Any advice?
Yeah, man, I think it does start all with identity, to be honest. And I think one of the things that I've walked people through is, like, at some point, you will be grateful for that challenge. And helping people think about that is, how did it bless you? Like, what was the blessing in it? Count it all joy when I go through trials of many kinds. Like, that's foreign, and I don't like it. I don't like it when I'm going through it. But man, when I see what happened because of it, and I can see the other side. Now, I do think this is where you and I are very similar. I think it takes an optimistic outlook. Because you have to be able to see the good. And that's a lens that you probably look through more often. And when you're coaching people, that's the lens you're giving them sometimes, so they can borrow your lens of optimism. And man, what an amazing thing, because look how you are now. Like, let's say you had a bad father. Well, look at the father you are to your kids. Like, do they love you? Do they, like, what are your thoughts? So it's interesting. Helping people with perspective helps. I think the identity piece, man, I challenged someone the other day. I go, you are going to struggle your entire life until you figure out your identity. And I can tell you, now this person is not a believer in Christ, which is okay. Like, this is, everybody can learn this. It's a journey, right? So I said, go look up, who does God say I am, in Google, and go see what word resonates with you. Because you do not get to pick your identity. You don't get to pick it. Like, you were created. I was talking to someone that has a construction company. I said, well, what was the last thing you built? And he told me a building, and he gave me the name. And I said, so when did it become that? He goes, what do you mean? I saw the blueprints I built. I said, yeah, but when did people drive by and go, that's a store? Well, when it was finished. And I go, that's the exact same way I think about identity. Like, when you were built and created, you were given an identity. You don't get to pick it. The store can't change its name. It's named. So that's what I go back to. Like, that's how you grapple with what's your identity. Who does God say you are? Because he created you. So you don't get to, and no one else gets to, and circumstances don't get to. And I just think that's such a clear answer, but that's only my viewpoint. I just feel like that's an easy way to help people relate to it, to really understand who they are. And that's when the stories, the challenges, the struggles become a little more transparent. You can be a little more vulnerable, because you never know who it's going to have an impact on.
And with the reach of social media and the internet now, or writing a book, you can get it out there. And again, put it out there, give it to God, and let's see who it reaches. You never know who's going to share a podcast or forward it to somebody. And that's what's really helped me a lot in the last few years of being able to speak out on the things that I did, the choices I made. They used to bring a lot of embarrassment. But what I realized is my identity and my calling is that I'm best suited to help the Tom that I used to be.
That's right.
Which means if I don't share my story, then how am I going to attract and connect with the Tom out there today that's going through the midst of addiction and unfaithfulness and all the things that I share? So I believe the audience by now has probably picked up on why, my wife and I share so much, why the Joy Hour Show exists. But, Al can reach and be more effective with some people that I can't, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think God, if he knows the end from the beginning, and if his word is true, which we got to go back to, is the Bible true or not? Let's test it. Let's find out. And I've found in my own life that it is. Grab a verse, pop that Bible open and see what verse God gives us. But with this, and I shared with you earlier, one of my favorite verses, Revelation 12:11. It says they overcame by the blood of the Lamb. We know God died for us. And so he took care of that first part of that verse. So, and they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony.
That's right.
And they loved not their life unto the death. So there's 3 steps there. God died. I'm supposed to share my story, and I'm not supposed to care, respectfully, what others think.
That's right.
Not to be rude, but just I'm sharing this with boldness and authenticity to reach that young man, middle-aged man, old man, any of y'all out there, to say, hey, there's others that have been exactly where you are.
That's right.
It's okay.
That's right.
And normalize those conversations. As long as there's breath, there's hope.
Yes.
You can take these life circumstances that happen and turn them into a tool.
That's right.
To use to help others. And that will give a full sense of purpose. Like, wow, I talk about it all the time. Somebody goes through bankruptcy. Okay. And 5 years later, they're still alive. They're still eating. They're still shelter. They're still, living.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, you didn't die. It probably felt like it.
That's right.
But did you die?
Yeah, exactly. You might have wanted to die, but you didn't.
Right. And how did you get through that?
That's right.
My pastor in Washington State, love him so much. Him and his wife slid on the ice in Alaska. And so he's had a prosthetic leg for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
A lot of pain, a lot of surgeries. And he's one of the most optimistic people I know.
So cool.
And so even on my worst day, I'm like,
yeah, man,
I do have both my legs, and some people don't.
Yeah.
So whatever the life circumstances are, whatever the life choices are that get us through those things, I believe the reason a lot of people struggle with identity is that they sweep those things under the rug.
For sure.
Because nobody wants to hear it, or I have shame because of it, the family reputation.
That's right.
I mean, oh my goodness, we've got this, we've got that on our record.
That's right.
Don't worry, folks. Another 30 or 40 years, you're just going to walk by and see a rock that says Tom Lyman, 1977 dash,
that's right,
whatever. And during that dash, there's a lot of stuff.
That's right.
Some good, some bad.
Exactly.
But I'm glad we're at this point in life, Al.
It's so good, man. Well, you bring up another point about the legacy, and what you leave behind, because, I'm thinking a lot, as I'm getting older, right? Like crossing over into, I'll never say middle-aged, or
I'm past the halfway point. Yeah.
I don't know what that looks like. Right. I just know that I'm continuing to get a little more wisdom every year.
Right.
How about that?
And have a little more fun.
That's it. That's it, man. But the one thing that I think what you're doing, and one of the things that I'm praying that I continue to be able to do, is the legacy that we leave has very little to do with what we leave people, but what we leave in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's more about, man, are there traits that my daughters picked up because I lived my life? Not because I preached it, because I said it, but more like, did they watch us? Did we truly love God and love people? And how did we love people? Were we always like avoiding them, or were we engaging with them? What was it like? So I just feel like so often, like, these things go like unmasked, and you start looking at, well, how much money am I going to make? How much am I going to leave behind? That's great. Like, you got to live.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like your legacy really is like these characteristics, these traits, these living unashamed.
Yeah.
And one of the other things that I love to do is help people become unaffected.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really wish, like one of my prayers every morning is, let me have positive impact on 5 people every day. And let me help them become unaffected by this.
Yeah.
So really it's, man, there's so many things, right? Of people's opinions. Someone cut you off the road. Like when we lash out, there's something in us that's causing that. There's some frustration that we have. So what is that like? And why do we respond the way we do? Why do we hold the grudges? What is it about that? Why can't we forgive? And this person. So it has to do with our ego, our needing to be right. All of this to feed ourselves.
Yeah.
And in essence, it's a tough way to live. And that perspective, like being able to hold things loosely in your hands and just like, because when we start to grip it, all of a sudden it's like, man, God can't put anything else in here, whether it's the fruits of the Spirit or anything else, opportunities. And we got to we're white knuckling it all day. And it's very difficult to walk around like this, tense. I just want people to remove resistance and go, let them pass, man. Like, give them a break. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they came from.
Right.
The same thing. You can add value to people, like at Starbucks. Like, just smile. Like, we had coffee today. We said thank you on the way out. Yeah. I don't know if that changed someone's life, but I mean, it's better than the person that's going to come in and complain in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the unaffectedness allows us to focus on the things and be productive the way we need to versus putting energy in negative stuff.
Yeah.
So that's
I can tell. And again, we just met this morning in person. I love this, Al. I can tell you've done a lot of work throughout your life as far as, knowing it's not about us. When somebody cuts us off, it's maybe they were in a hurry. Maybe they didn't see us. Maybe they lost their job. But that inner work that I'm assuming that you've done has got you to the point where most, if not all the time, you look in the mirror, you're proud of yourself, right? You love yourself.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to say out loud, though, by the way.
Yeah, it is. But
when
it sounds weird when I say, oh, I love myself. People are like, what does that mean?
That's right.
Well, for 44 years of my life, I didn't really love, most of my life. There were seasons, but I didn't really love myself. And so when you look at the great commandment,
that's it.
I love God and love your neighbor as thyself. Yes. I think that's one of the biggest struggles is we've got to put in enough work into ourselves where, hey, we may not be in perfect shape physically, but we're trying.
Yeah. And you look good, by the way.
Well, thank you. Most of my excess is under the table here. I try and get this. Yeah.
It's strategically placed. I tell you what, man, but you look good up top.
I'm getting close to 50. I'm finally back in the gym with my family. And thank you. It's always going to be a work in progress.
That's right, man.
I've been
keep the temple holy.
Amen. I've been almost 300 pounds, size 40.
Really?
I've been down to 210, but that was with the white powder. That's not healthy. So
we wouldn't recommend that diet.
Bad diet. Never do drugs. Drugs are bad.
That's funny, man.
But I'm about halfway right now, size 36 waist. My back pain isn't there. That's what I notice with myself if I don't have the back pain, I'm proud of myself.
Yes.
When I start eating French fries and ice cream for 6 months in a row and I'm back pain in size 38 or 40 waist, I'm not happy with myself.
That's right.
So whether it's physical, financial, most importantly spiritual.
That's it.
If I have internal conflict here, then somebody cuts me off on the road. Yeah, they're going to hear my horn.
They're getting lit up.
Lit up. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
But we got to work on ourselves, and we got to get to the point where
you do love yourself.
I do. Yeah. And the Bible is talking about that.
That's it, man.
Do enough self-work, get a counselor, get a coach, get people speaking in your life that poke and prod and say, so what are you eating? Yeah. What are you buying? What are you spending your time and your money on? You said a couple nuggets this morning, briefly, calendar and check.
Yeah, show me. So we were talking about priorities, right? And what people invest in and what they spend money in. And so we were talking about when you coach and, now getting paid for coaching, like, well, why would someone pay? And I'm like, well, I heard a great, message that show me your calendar and show me your checkbook. I'll show you your priorities.
Yeah.
Because where your money goes, your heart goes. Where your time goes, your heart goes. So when people say, well, can't afford this, can't afford the coaching, whatever it is. It's like, oh, you can afford it. You're just choosing not to prioritize it. And I promise you, we were also talking about like coaching for free, which happens all day, all the time. Like, let me be clear. Like, I coach lots of people without charging. But what I find is the accountability and them being in it is not to the same degree as when they put their money behind it. Now they'll chase it like, I'm spending money on this. I better get my money's worth, which means their investment and their heart. And then they go, if I do nothing with it, that's on me, and I've wasted money. And people don't like wasting money. So that's what we were talking about.
That's so good. You know, I think about my life in the last few years or so of doing that, paying for counseling, paying for coaching, putting gas in my car to go to another meeting, 12-step program. There's lots of free resources and options out there, but they still cost time.
That's right.
And it's a decision to get on a Zoom call for an hour when it's not the funnest topic or the funnest room, but you know it's going to help your spiritual man, or
that's right,
go to the gym and help your physical man. But what it's done, I just realized as you're talking there, is it's taken away my desire to just buy more clothes.
That's it. That's good.
To go to Starbucks every day.
Yes.
Sorry, it's good. Starbucks. Should say coffee shop. Didn't mean to throw a specific place under the bus. I'm just from Seattle, so it's just what we call. That's what we call coffee, right? Right. Coffee is okay.
That's right.
You get my point, though. Is if I look at my receipts, and a lot of times men, probably women too, go so fast they don't really look at the receipts.
That's right.
But I look back, and if I totaled up the receipts every year of what I spent on things that didn't benefit my life, clothes, food, extra coffee, alcohol, of course, any of that, the toys, about a $50,000 dune buggy. I think it's depreciated down to 10 grand, and it's,
not a wise
investment. We live and we learn, folks. But
hopefully you learn.
Yes, hopefully you do.
I heard Maxwell says, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Well, you only learn if you actually, you never fail.
Right.
If you learn. But if you fail and don't learn the lesson and repeat it again, that's a failure.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you that you haven't failed down that dune buggy road again. That means you learn.
Yeah. And I've got people in my life now that I talk to before I spend.
That's right.
I.e. my wife. Pretty important one, guys. A lot of my worst choices ever were buying vehicles and toys, and I never even checked with her. I just bought it and pulled it in the driveway. She's like, really? We're still doing this, huh? And so love you, darling. I have a pastor. I have multiple pastors in my life that I go to and I counsel with before I make major decisions.
Great.
But
that's great.
With that, I have saved so many dollars through the years by not spending on useless things and investing into the right things. And so I just want to challenge people. So good how you said it. You know, look at your calendar. Look at your checkbook, look at your receipts.
Yes.
You know, it's one thing to say, hey, I want to save money. And the only way I can save money is if I make more and I get paid more. And my boss needs to give me a raise.
That's right.
But, you know, you can also give yourself a raise by spending less.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
So inspiring and encouraging people to try it.
Yeah.
You know, a few years ago, if somebody said pay for counseling, I'm like, no way. Right. Pay for coaching? Absolutely not. But it's what's given me a lot of victory because I value it.
That's right.
I pay attention to what I pay for.
That's right.
I value what takes away my time from doing something else, and I've got addicted to it actually in a good way.
It's a different, better addiction, I would say.
Amen. And change. You know, a lot of people are resistant to change.
Yeah.
I don't need to change. Everything's fine. Well, if it is, then I'm happy for you. Continue on.
We talked about firing coaching clients in the previously is like, you're not going to do the work. Hey, if you like what's going on, keep it going. Like, you're happy where you're at.
And I think the way that people, when they want to, when you really want to dive deep and you want to know, is to have quiet time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just make yourself sit for 30 minutes outside and just think, is this where you wanted to be when you were 30, 40, 50, 60, 20?
That's right.
Is this really what you want your life to look like?
That's right.
And if you look at the answer being no and you want it to look like this and you think it's impossible, get somebody in your corner that's going to tell you it is possible. With God.
That's right.
Nothing is impossible.
That's right.
But I believe God uses others to coach and inspire and encourage us. So good already. And none of this is scripted. This is just Al and Tom hanging out, talking.
Yeah, man. New friend, man.
Hey, man.
Love hanging out with you, bro. This is a lot of fun.
One more great reason that I'm in Texas.
Yeah, man. You know,
we're neighbors and everything. And
I mean, I won't make you shave your head to look like me, but I think as long as we got the same, DNA where we're still, pouring out, giving to people, and loving God, man, we're connected.
Though, most of the mentors, coaches, pastors in my life, they don't have hair, right? And so I'm looking at how much do I want to learn? How much of a teacher, preacher, counselor, coach do I want to be, right? With wisdom, the brain starts expanding.
That's right.
I think it pushes those hair follicles out.
You start being follically challenged.
I was in this class one time. There's 4 teachers in a row. It was an 8-hour class, 2 hours each. Little break in there. But all 4 in a row were bald. And I'm going,
something to that.
I'm trying to be like them, but do I really want to?
Well, it's funny because someone did say, does it upset you that I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, because I told you the story, I just stopped living a lie. It was 10, bro. Like, I'm done.
Yep.
And I think also maybe that had something, now that we're talking about it, like my identity and vanity.
Yep.
Right? So, hair and like the way men are created and like, losing some of these things and then just being like, this is done.
Yep.
Then that's maybe another way to kind of experience true identity and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not suggesting that that's the only way, but that's a way for me, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, like to be okay with some of these things, getting older and having to do more work in the gym. And now I got a nutrition coach, which for the first time in my life. So I'm learning about food and, these things that I never thought I'm okay. Like one of the things my coach taught me was ask for help. Mm-hmm. He said, please ask for help. We are so prideful.
Yep.
We don't think that we need it, or we don't want anybody to know that we don't have it all together. Guess what? Everybody knows you don't have it together.
Yeah, right. And I think when you're quiet with yourself, you realize you do too.
Yes, that's right.
I was in rehab, and the lady looked at me and said, "Son, you need to stop talking about all the good things in your life." And anyhow, long story, but she looks at me. She said, "And remember this, young man, your best efforts got you here." I talk about life humbling you. You can either humble yourself or life will humble you at some point.
That's right.
Sometime. There's lots of men that get to their deathbed, they're diagnosed with a few months to live, and then they have a lot of regrets, and they have a lot of wake up moments of what was success? Was I successful? Oh my goodness, I got $10 million, but nobody's coming to visit me. What did I do with my time? And the Ebenezer Scrooge of the world. And so men really want to, and Al and I share a lot of similarities in our heart to reach men.
That's right.
To let you know, if you want to talk, number one, reach out. Yeah. But there's a lot of different ways you can look at success. Yeah. And I've been humbled a lot lately, financially, and it's still happening, and it hurts to know that 10 years ago I was way better off financially than I am now. And I thought it was supposed to be the other way around. The more I work, the older I get, the more savings I would have. But because of choices in life, a lot of that has gone away. And it hurts probably as much as maybe losing hair. But, we shed, things happen and choices. And,
that's right.
But whenever we really capture the moment and say, why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my calling? And it's to reach others and say, hey, there is a path that works.
That's right.
To changing for the better.
That's right.
And I wouldn't trade my life for anything. Right now, my spiritual man is great. My relationships are great. They're just getting better every day. The depth of relationships that you can't put a price tag on.
That's it, man.
I don't care if I go broke and lose all the rest of my finances. It's going to be okay.
That's right.
Because at the end of it all, looking at everything, what's the most important? Time with the ones you love, impact with others, leading your family, leading any others that you can, not because of us, but because God's given us some tools and some wisdom that's going to work to change. And so I look at that, and
love it.
I look at nice cars. I love nice cars, but they never brought me joy.
Right.
I tried one, then the other.
Empty.
It was empty.
Right.
Now I tell people there's nothing wrong with having a Ferrari, but if your identity is wrapped up in the Ferrari, if your pride and you just strut because of the Ferrari or the house or the jet or the vacations, you can pick up on that pretty quick, right?
That's right.
And so I don't want to be a prideful man that's full of ego because, I have a certain car or certain job or house, but more of knowing like this could be my last day. We're capturing this video to reach out and help somebody.
That's right.
and lead them towards a better full life of joy.
I love it. I love, again, the whole topic of joy, Tom, for me is like, I wouldn't change it, man. I know the struggles that I've been through, that you've been through. Like and this is really, and I shared this with you too, like this really is purpose. Like God has a plan for my life. Mm-hmm. He does. Yeah. And part of it was all the mistakes, all the jack-ups that happened. Yep. And so I wouldn't change anything. And what I really want people to take away is that, again, nothing happens to you. Don't stay a victim. Mm-hmm. Like nothing happens to you. And
say it like you did earlier. Nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens to you. It doesn't even happen for you. It happens through you for others.
Yeah.
So it's really like, we get to this place where it's like, I've heard all kinds of speakers say nothing happens to you, it happens for you. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of, that's good. Yeah. But what's better is it happens through you for others, which is exactly what you're doing, which I was super shy about doing all this, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But now I know, man, like I'm robbing people of an opportunity to get something that might help transform their life. And, I don't want to put a cap on it. Now, there's sometimes when I get ahead of myself and I do it in my own strength and I'm not trusting God and I'm like, this is what needs to be said. But again, this year it's like, man, just be patient. Wait on me. I'm going to give you something to say and then just be obedient.
Yeah.
And that to me, like at some point in your life, you will get to a place where you're like, thank you, God, for all these challenges because it shaped me to be exactly who you wanted me to be for this time.
Gold tried in the fire.
Yeah, man. It's refining, bro. Like you can't get refined other ways. Like you gotta be in the challenge.
Yeah.
And I actually feel sorry for people that haven't gone through the junk that you and I have gone. Right. Easy.
Like life is just
mundane. Like cruising. Now, I'm not saying they can't have the same impact.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, man, when you go through the valley, you understand what a mountaintop looks like. And just being able to stay even keeled throughout it all.
Yeah.
Like when people look at you now and you go through a challenge, they're like, dude, how's Tom even standing with all that he's going through? And you can go, this is not me, man. This is God. Yeah. Like I trust him now. Before I just trusted me. And that took me down this path. Then I was desperate and in despair. Yeah. Now I trust God. I know he's with me. He's never going to leave me and never forsake me, even when I screw up.
Yeah.
So I love that aspect of it. I love what you're doing, bro. And I'm just appreciative that we met, man.
Me too. We're going to do more of these. And, I think about the exciting part of life where we can hear God's voice. And Solomon said it so well in Ecclesiastes. Man has two duties. Man's whole duty is to fear God and obey his commands. And, as a kid, I used to hear the word fear, like, oh, fear God, I got to be afraid, hell, No, it means to reverence, respect. He died on the cross for me. And so, God, would you do this? Would you say this? Would you yell back at this person because they cut you off? Would you send this email? Would you blow your top? Would you go to this place? Would you listen to this or watch this? Yes or no? And, years ago, somebody, came up with the WWJD, but
that's right.
It's so true. Like, what would he do in this situation? And it gives me pause on how I treat people. It gives me pause on how I constantly want to strive and be more like him. But I found it's in that sequence is fear God and obey his commands. So the more I feared him, the clearer I could hear his voice. So when he said move across the country, let's go. Obedience. That's your word for the year. Yeah, and I'm gonna use that. Obedience is better than sacrifice, but to be obedient usually means sacrifice.
That's right.
But folks,
it's interesting, the sacrifice too, we see it as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
But in actuality, what it's bringing is a more full life, and Tom is good, and his family is going to bless so many more people than he would have had he stayed where he was.
Building an empire with more cars and more stuff and emptiness. If you can, share this right now. Go ahead and forward this on. Like, subscribe, all that. The Joy Hour Show at Only Source. And so thankful for the audience listening to this. I pray that it encourages, inspires, and blesses everyone that listens to it and points them towards positive change in any area that they need. So we love you. And as we close out here, Al, I just want to ask another couple minutes here. Go into how a listener could find you, what it is that you could provide in any capacity, public speaking at businesses or events or coaching. You could probably speak a little more clear than I could on it.
Yeah, no, man. Just, I mean, you know, I'm on all the social platforms. I'm sure we'll post something. But ALH Leadership, it's AH Leadership is the company.
AH Leadership.
And so, you know, my wife is a master at operations and runs the company. And, you know, for me, it's more when people have a need of wanting to grow. I'm all about transformation. So are you, whether it's individuals or groups. Doing leadership coaching, it blesses me more than it blesses them. That's for sure. So I'll just say those are the opportunities that I get to go in and use gifts and use these challenges. And God has crazy things that come out of my mouth during those that I'm like, didn't think I was going to share that during this leadership, training right now. But I'm just trying to be obedient, man. It's the hardest thing, but also the most rewarding.
You feel stretched, feel challenged.
For sure, every day, bro.
You know, I think all the stories in the Bible of men that were commanded, obey God, fear Him and obey His commands. You know, look up those stories. You know, Gideon and so many others that weren't qualified, but they went ahead and they put their faith over their fear.
That's right.
And they stepped out there. What is one or two social network platforms that you would point people to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. So just Al, you can look up Al Herrera and look up, and then on, you know, Facebook and Instagram, I'm on all those. I don't post so often. I post on occasion.
Say your last name.
Oh, the way I say it. Herrera.
So,
hey, you're in Texas now, bro. They might not say that in Seattle, but here,
I'm working on
Texas.
Hablar poquito, pero no entiendo mucho.
You're better than me a lot of times. That's great, bro. Good stuff.
To the Joy Hour audience, we love you. And just stay tuned. More and more stories coming out. If this has blessed your life, please reach out and share it with somebody else. And know that God is wanting to step into our lives and continue to lead and guide us. Thank you, Al, for being on today.
Hey, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Awesome. What a blessing. Thanks so much, Tom.
All right, bud.
All right, buddy.
See ya.